7, bringing you free picks, no excuses. We just keep showing up. So sure to subscribe to our channel and join us. Of course, Major League Baseball today. Got a small taste of NFL last night. A lot more starters playing than I expected in that game. So, at least we saw some action. But certainly a lot of sloppy play in that game, which we're going to see a ton of in preseason. And, I think every one of our cappers had the Steelers, so pretty good. It's one of those preseason games where it felt pretty good. I should have come on at halftime. It was an easy halftime bet, but oh well, it happens. The kicking game, obviously, not in form for either team.
No.
It's pretty bad.
The Cowboys are just hurting at quarterback. That's a big.
Well, I mean, it's not like they didn't know this, coming into the season, and it's not like they haven't known this for years, and it's not like they haven't had plenty of opportunities to address it. How many quarterbacks did they draft?
I think the backup running backs for the Steelers are just better. Edmonds.
I think that's part of it, but I mean, the Steelers' offensive line has some big issues too, and it's the first preseason game. Yeah, but the Cowboys have no excuses. It's like that's what you chose to go with. When you have Garrett Gilbert, who really was the best of the pick of the litter, as you would say, of those quarterbacks. Cooper Rush was okay, but DiNucci was unacceptable at any level. And if you choose to go in, you make that choice. It's not like there wasn't any quarterbacks available in the draft. It's not like there wasn't any quarterbacks that went undrafted that could have been brought in as a free agent. I mean, yesterday we talked about Masoli in the CFL. Why not bring him in for a look? You think he would walk out of the CFL for a shot at the Dallas Cowboys? You bet he would.
You bet he would have.
You bet he would. In a heartbeat. So it's like they have no excuses, They have no excuses. And, the product that they put on the field is just pathetic. I mean, Mike McCarthy can sit there and shake his head over bad calls and whatever. It's preseason. Believe me, there's a ton of no calls. What about when Chase Claypool, got pushed over, still managed to catch the ball? That, if there's pass interference, that's it. It's like we see ticky-tack pass interference is called all the time. I mean, this guy gets pushed over, and they say nothing. But it's preseason for the referees too. It's it's the first preseason game, so you expect a lot of that. But I think it's clear that the Cowboys have some depth issues there, and that's all part of the problem. And it's the same Mike McCarthy issues that we saw in Green Bay. Where it's like he always has an excuse. That he doesn't have a good team. Yeah, and we didn't see Ezekiel Elliott, and we didn't see Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott can't throw a ball more than 2 yards right now, right? So, got some serious issues. It's not like there wasn't quarterbacks available. The Rams got Matthew Stafford.
Where did Andy Dalton go?
Andy Dalton, not sure, but he's somewhere. He's not good.
You think the Cowboys would have brought him back?
But he's not good. He wasn't the answer.
Well, he's not that he's good, but he's better than Garrett Gilbert, I guess.
Well, it's not even Gilbert that's really the problem there. It's that you put DiNucci out there for 30 minutes of football at any time. That this guy's even on your roster. It just shows that's part of the problem. I always thought Doug Peterson was the worst backup quarterback I'd ever seen, but actually I think this guy could be. Doug Peterson was the worst quarterback I ever.
He actually started a few NFL games.
Yeah, he was terrible. I mean, he was the worst of the worst. He was on the Dolphins. He was the worst. It was like, oh no, It's like Peterson. It's like you wonder how they're even on the team. So let's just take a look at some quarterbacks that went undrafted this past year. Okay, that would have been better options than what we saw last night. So Jamie Newman from Georgia and Wake Forest was undrafted. He ended up signing with the Eagles. Shane Buechele, who we saw at Texas and then at SMU, signed with the Chiefs. KJ Costello, who was at Stanford and then Mississippi State, still unsigned. Felipe Franks was undrafted. He signed with the Falcons. Zach Thomas from App State, unsigned. Zach Smith from Tulsa, unsigned. Peyton Ramsey, Northwestern, unsigned. Kevin Thompson, Washington, unsigned. Zarek Cooper, Jacksonville State, unsigned. Brady Davis, Illinois State, unsigned. David Moore, Central Michigan. Any of these guys give you a better chance than DiNucci. Any of these guys. I think Rod gives you a better chance.
DiNucci. I was happy when the
Yeah.
Rod texted me earlier.
Dalton plays with the Bears. He's
like, fade the Steelers all year. But then we came around. We got a tough game.
Anyways, I don't know. I think the Cowboys are in for another long season.
I think got a lot of talented wide receivers and a really good running back.
So is Taryn, are you talking about yesterday's game? You're giving a pick on yesterday's game with the Twins? Is that what that is?
He was all like, yeah, I'm the Twin. I knew it was an easy fade. Fade in the Astros.
I'm 100% in games I get to pick after they're over. I never have lost one. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Not even I took the Twins yesterday.
I've never lost a game after they're over. Never. Not once.
That's what I said.
They're all easy when the game is over. That's for sure, too. They're all easy. Yeah. Maybe I should change that. It's always easy to pick the winner after the game is over. That's for damn sure. But I didn't see you saying it yesterday, and I don't see it in our Facebook group or in the comments on the YouTube video of that game.
No, we all thought the Steelers would be easy. That actually happened. So.
Well, the Steelers, everybody had. Every single capper had the Steelers.
And normally I don't like that, but the books are like.
Well, I mean, we talked when we first looked at the game, a week ago or something. We saw that DiNucci was on the roster. It was pretty obvious.
DiNucci.
I mean, that Aaron Rodgers play. We went over like his whole career, right? Step by step through, the 53-yard fumble return on the Aaron Rodgers play. It's gruesome. That sack at the end of the game too, kind of just. I just can't see them wheeling him out for another game. They got to be on the wire, trying to get somebody.
You would
gotta
think.
be. You would think.
Because even the Steelers' fourth string would be.
Yeah, all the Steelers quarterbacks were better.
Josh Dobbs.
I'll tell you, the guy who was the worst is Mason Rudolph. Still the worst of the Steelers' backup QB.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
He's still awful.
Terrible. I mean, just terrible. He is so bad. The only reason that he's in that spot is, remember they put that other kid in from Oregon? It was worse. I mean.
Well, Rudolph has like a whole year starting experience.
Yeah, but he's terrible at it. They lost every game. He started, they lost every game. So they had the guy from Oregon, remember? They put him in because Rudolph was so bad. What was the guy's name? He's not on the varsity anymore in Pittsburgh. But, oh, man, what was his name? Rod's looking it up. It was so bad. I mean, so bad. Let's look it up. This guy was the worst. Let's see. Devin Hodges.
Oh, yeah.
He started six games.
That was it.
He started 6 games in 2019. So bad. See, Mason Rudolph, his numbers on paper don't look so bad. 62.2% completion percentage. 13 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, though. Those are Fultonevich type numbers right there. He's the Fultonevich of NFL quarterbacks.
Nah, he's a backup quarterback. That's what we think.
Yeah, I don't think he's designed to throw a whole lot of passes. That's why he probably is at 62%. He'll hand the ball off. He can do that well.
Huh. Oh, well. Well, we got baseball today. We got plenty of NFL coming up preseason. We'll get to look at some other teams. And, of course, it's all about the depth in preseason.
I got my eye on Packers-Texans next week.
All right, we heard that yesterday already. So nobody cares. I'm telling you, if there was ever an NFL event that nobody cared about, it was yesterday's game. It was
not
like
big money, but I made $1,000 on the game, so I'll take it. I think it was easy. An easy bet is an easy bet.
I understand. I understand that, but if there's a game that the public was not interested in, or the people were not interested in, it was yesterday's game. I have been doing this for a very long time, and believe me, I understand internet traffic things as it relates to the strength of the event. Nobody cared about that game. Nobody cared. It was like, yeah, it was like lower. I bet it was lower rated than the worst. Like if the Jags played the Panthers, like two NFL teams that traditionally, low ratings, I would guess that game would do 10 times what that game last night did.
Did ESPN have a baseball game on last night?
Yep, they did.
I wonder what the ratings difference was.
They did the Cardinals-Braves.
Yeah, the Cardinals.
The Cardinals. Were you on the Cardinals?
Yeah,
they were not.
Yeah, I had a small bet on the Cardinals.
They brought Brady in, and once the bases were loaded, it was all over. He gave
small
up 4
bet on
walks.
the Arizona Diamondbacks, they lost late. Small bet on the Nationals, they lost late. So
Cardinals
Nationals was a collapse of collapses.
25 bases loaded walks.
That Nationals was a collapse of collapses.
5 runs so far.
What about the Arizona? They gave up 4 runs in the 9th.
It's Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, it's Arizona.
About a 2-in-1 day, I'll take it.
I probably got a book this long then by how many games that I've got beat on the last.
Yeah, when I lose, it was a loss. When Brian loses, I was unlucky. It's like I lose.
What do you call giving up? I mean, the Nationals.
I've lost a million games. Like I've lost games where you've gotten a half point that I didn't get. You won, I pushed, and I've gotten games where you've gotten a point more than me. You've won, I've lost. It's just the way that it works. It's not unlucky. It's I lost.
Typical.
It doesn't. It actually happens more often than it because somehow you get these lines that I don't get. But anyways,
we're talking about Major League Baseball money line bets yesterday.
Right, but it's like I can't tell you how many 1-run games I've lost this year. This is not only is it my worst season I've ever had. I've lost more. I've lost more games that I would have bet the exact same way. Games that I had won, Like I had the Blue Jays -2.5 yesterday. I sweated it out to the final out, man, because it was like, I mean, that's the season it's been for me. I could have, I was expecting the solo home run. I was expecting it. Normally it's like, no problemo, I was expecting the solo shot. Expecting it. It's like it's been that kind of year, but it is what it is. It doesn't necessarily always go the other way, but I'll catch my share of breaks. Believe me, I had a great year last year. This year, not so good, and I still have time. I got football season. I got the beginning of college basketball for next year. I'll have the beginning of NBA, and I'm gonna get them. I always do. Long term, the trend is up. Not everybody always has a winning year. Not everybody always has a winning day or a winning week. But it's like the wins all count the same. The losses count the same. There's no, sometimes you get a bad bounce. That's the gambling aspect of it, It's like
sometimes in handicapping, baseball can put you in a hole for the rest of the year. So sometimes it's hard to get out of.
Well, it's only because there's a million games, and that's why we separate it by seasons, by sport. And that's just, the way that it's done. But it's like in baseball, there's 162 games. In the NFL, there's 250 something. So it's not apples to apples. I also bet, on college football games and NFL games probably 3 to 4 times what I bet on a baseball game. Maybe even more.
Because in NFL, you could go like 84-60 or whatever the record is. In baseball, you could have a ton of picks. So, yeah, you're right.
I lost that Seattle game. That was ridiculous. It was like a pop fly.
That was no sweat. That was a layup. Never in doubt.
What are you? Sure. Okay.
I just fucking with you.
It was like a pop fly.
Now, that one, I'll admit, I got lucky on that one for sure.
You didn't. It's not luck. It's either you won or you lost, man. It's like.
No, that was luck. It's just everything fell, in perfect place.
No, the Mariners have blown 4 leads in the last week.
I was talking about the Seattle Seahawks-Eagles game when they threw up that.
That game. I'm talking about yesterday. Joey Gallo with that pop fly home run. It's ridiculous. The Mariners had that game won. They had it won.
Yep.
And the thing is, they had the Yankees on the ropes even so many times, man. It was like, and then like just a cheap home run like that.
Yankees stink. Yeah,
they're not going anywhere. That's for sure. Anyways, speaking about going nowhere, Cubs plus 152 today at home against the White Sox. Day game at Wrigley. I used to, living in Chicago, this was always one of my favorite games of the year, that Friday game at Wrigley, Cubs White Sox. I had it as my Facebook profile picture for a long time. Picture me wearing my White Sox shirt and bleachers at Wrigley. Got Phillies and the Mets. The winner of this one will be in first place in the National League East. It's just a half game separating these two teams. Identical in the loss column. The Mets have a game in the win column on the Phillies. So it's something that a team can control their own destiny. This is as bad as the Cards have been and as big as some of these lines are. These are really some of the best, most meaningful matchups we've had since the All-Star break. We probably have 5 or 6 series here that are meaningful. We got the Orioles and the Rays. John Means making it out to the mound. And then Wandy Peralta pitching here for the Yankees against Marco Gonzalez and the Mariners, who just can't seem to hold a lead. Brian, any of these 4?
Yeah, I'm going to pick 2 out of those grouping. I like the Seattle Mariners the best. Tremendous value with the team that's been money for us pretty much all season long. He almost had it yesterday. Marco Gonzalez, a veteran pitcher. I just don't see the Yankees as a minus 170 favorite here. I'm not betting the house on it, but they're worth a $100 bet. And then I'm going to take the Chicago Cubs over the White Sox. This will probably be the one game that the Cubs get a W if they're going to win at all. Hendricks is their best starter. Just seems to get the W, 13-4 on the season. Had a rough start to the year, but has pulled it together. So I'm going to take the Cubbies to take one for the White Sox.
And for me in those ones, I like the under in the White Sox and Cubs game. White Sox 4-0 to the under their last 4 road games. And the Cubs 4-0 to the under their last 4 versus a team with a winning record. I think we got a lower scoring pitchers duel on that one. White Sox Cubs. And I'm with you. I like the Mariners as well. Gonzalez, the team's 4-2 in his starts. And the Mariners 7-0 their last 7 Friday games. The Yanks 2-6 their last 8 on Friday. So I'm going to take the shot here with the Mariners. I suppose finding to bounce back from their late inning debacle. And the other one I like the Mets here over the Phillies. I'm going to take Stroman's on the mound. I know the Mets struggle to score runs for him, give him run support, but I'm going to take a shot here with the Mets. Stroman's been solid. The Mets need to support him a little more, and I think they do today.
I think the issue that the Mets have there, besides playing terrible on this road trip, getting smoked in Miami almost on a daily basis, against much less than they're facing here with a Phillies team that's just absolutely red hot, winning these comeback games. I mean, that comeback game last night, starting to really, really roll, and as critical as I've been of the Phillies, man, very, very tough to stand in the way of that. Plus, you have an American League pitcher pitching in the National League, and that is always the way you want that trade to go. When you have the American League pitcher that goes to the National League, basically they're facing one less batter than they're used to facing, and Gibson had pretty good numbers facing an American League lineup with 9 hitters. Now he only has to face 8, and he gets that free out with the pitcher, something he didn't have the luxury of in Texas. So just something to take note of in that Phillies-Mets game. And also I expect it to be a playoff-type atmosphere in Philadelphia with this game this tight. I'm going to guess, I don't live in Philly, but Brian does, and I'm going to guess they are talking this up like the playoffs, no?
Yep, for sure.
This is like the biggest, got to be the biggest thing since, for the Phillies since they were in the World Series. Got to be.
I think Gibson had a little trouble getting balls and getting strikes against the Pirates. I don't know.
He allowed 1 run, and they scored 15.
Well, that was against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right, but they scored 1 run. The Mets haven't scored anything against the Marlins, and they didn't catch the heart of the Marlins rotation either. It wasn't Alcantara and Rogers and Lopez or anyone like that. It was like the Marlins retreads that they brought out to face them. Guys that were kind of like 7, 8, 9 deep onto the bench, and in the minor leagues that they pulled out, and the Mets couldn't do anything against them. So I don't know. I think it's you have 2 basically teams virtually tied for first place, and the Mets 2 weeks ago had it basically wrapped up in their hands. They've let it all slip away, and teams that are reeling usually continue to reel. Teams that are hot and rolling, well, the balls just always seem to bounce their way. You talk about the way the balls bounce your way and everything like that. Teams that get on these hot runs. What was the score in the 9th inning of that game last night? What were they down by 4?
I think they were down by 2.
2, 4, something.
They were down by 2. It was 5-3 going into the top of the 9th there, and
I tell you, they made it look easy. And they've done it. They did it how many times on that road trip?
I already had that circle as a W. I should.
Because the Phillies have been terrible on the road, but they really got it done. The Mets, I don't know, man. I think this is one of those. There's a few of these, right? There's a few of these series this weekend, and this
Phillies
is
typically struggle with the Mets.
I mean, the White Sox Cubs, is you would think the White Sox, because they normally just slaughter the Cubs all the time, right? I mean, they just own them.
Really?
So, they just kill them, and you would just think that they would just beat them by 20 runs today. But maybe this is the time where the Cubs stand up, even though they traded away all their good players. It just doesn't even make any sense. Lay the 2.5 with the White Sox. I'm going to score. It's going to be next man up. Believe me. There will be if everyone's ever seen my Cubs suck shirt that I wear.
Yeah, but
I bought that at Wrigley Field. I bought it at Wrigley. Outside of Wrigley, they were selling them. Believe me, it's going to be packed with White Sox fans. Packed.
That is fanboy going on.
Oh, it's Cubs White Sox crosstown, classic. Of course, I'm going to be fanboy. This is my game. This is our season. How many years in a row with the White Sox not contending? This was all we had. And it's like, this is the part of sports that you don't understand. And I know when we talk college football, you just didn't grow up in a college football town where you understand this, where it's like, as a Miami Hurricane fan, if we went 1-11 and we beat Florida State, I'm good with that. And it's like, you just can't understand that concept. If we went 1-11 and we beat Florida was our one win, I'm good with it. If we went 1-11 and we beat Notre Dame and that's our one win, I'm good with it. It's like, that's the part of sports that you don't understand. And this game transcends that, right? Because you have the South Side versus the North Side in Chicago. And it is a really big difference, right? So this is the South Side's chance to stick it to the North Siders, right? The South Side is the blue collar. The South Side's the blue collar, the hardworking, the thing. The North Side is where the rich people live. And this is a chance, to stick it to them. Believe me, they care. Trust me, they care. It transcends the game. And it's like you have to look at those factors. And trust me, Lance Lynn is going to mow them down. And if there's going to be a lot of high-fiving and a lot of ass-slapping. And when Ozzie was managing the White Sox and they would get that Crosstown Classic trophy from the mayor, they made a big frickin' deal about it, And the Cubs do the same thing if they ever could win the trophy, which they don't, right? They would make a big deal of it too. I believe the year the Cubs won the World Series, the White Sox won the Crosstown Classic trophy. So
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. They're going to kill him. We're going to kill him.
I think you're dreaming.
Because you don't understand sports at that level. All you look at is who somebody else bet on and try and tail them.
I just think
that's your whole strategy.
The crappy team
it doesn't show.
It's a big rivalry for the Chicago Cubs fans too.
It's really not. They don't understand it because the Chicago Cubs fans, most of those people aren't based in Chicago. Wrigley Field's a tourist attraction. See, so
the White Sox haven't been playing good though lately.
All the more reason.
All right.
All the more reason. All the more reason. Then why are the White Sox minus 162?
Because they're the clear-cut, easy better team. But that clear-cut better team doesn't always win every single day. I think they take 2 out of 3. They're going to lose a game. And if they're going to lose a game, Hendricks has the best shot at winning one for the Cubs. So.
It's been terrible this season. And the wind is blowing straight out the center field. Straight out. Cubs have lost 7 of their last 10. So it's not like they're coming in with a world of momentum either. The White Sox are 4-6 in their last 10, and they're actually playing the better baseball. That's how bad the Cubs have been.
Yeah, but the Cubs aren't expected to win. The White Sox are.
So what does that matter?
Nothing in this game. I'm just saying, you talk about the White Sox win the World Series. If they can't beat the crappy teams, then they're going to have some trouble.
Every good team that's ever won anything has had a hiccup. Every team has had that in the history of sports, except for the 72 Dolphins. Every team has done that. Every team's had a hiccup. Every team has. They went through a stretch. The Astros went through a stretch this year too. So did the Dodgers. They've all gone through stretches. Dodgers have been swept by the Giants. They got swept by the Padres. It's like it happens to everybody. But it doesn't erase, what's going on here. Anyways, we'll see it on the field. I'm
just busting your balls.
Of course. I'm laying 3.5. I don't have a premium pick on this game. I'm too much of a fanboy. But the Mets 3-7 in their last 10. The Phillies 7-3 in their last 10. They've been on the road, too. Anyways, I trust that Seattle bullpen 0. Hate them. I trust them 0. They lost in Texas. They lost Yankees. It's like first 5, Seattle. If you're betting Seattle, bet first 5. They're probably a great first 5 team. This is where everyone says, "Hey, ever bet first 5?" Gonna start.
All right, now.
Taryn Walker says Mets minus 1.5. That makes me now Phillies minus 1.5. It's like the guy who told me, commented on the YouTube video, "I'm coming back after the game when the Cowboys kick their butts." It's like, what?
Well, still waiting for that to happen.
Because I said Dak Prescott wasn't an NFL caliber quarterback.
He is if he's healthy.
He's certainly not one of the top NFL QBs. So when Dak was healthy, right, 2 seasons ago, and the Cowboys, they could have made the playoffs, right, with a losing record, and they couldn't even get that done, right? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah.
7-9, they could have made it at 7-9, but they ended up losing, right, to the Eagles.
Yep.
Isn't that what happened?
They were just awful on the road.
So how is this guy a legitimate? I mean, it's not like he doesn't have the highest paid receiver and the highest paid running back in the NFL either. It's not like he doesn't have those to work with.
I think he's around like number 15 or so.
Yeah, but he gets paid as number 1. Guy makes more money than Brady.
That's because Brady's taking a smaller contract, so he'll win Super Bowls. He's already made his money.
Goes to show you right there. See, Brady would rather win.
Brady's taken smaller contracts his whole career, though. He hasn't already been paid. He's taken smaller contracts his entire career. What are you selling today, Brian?
I got my super sharp 3-pack, all baseball dogs, and they're not just little dogs. They're nice dogs. 3 dogs, $40 at pickdogs.com. And if you like my NFL preseason picks, if you're not a VIP member, you can get it for $99.95, $99.99 at pickdogs.com for your picks.
And for me, Steak Friday. Included in the Steak Friday is my 10-star Diamond Dog of the Day, as well as 2 more Diamond Crushers. Jump aboard Steak Friday. Excited for Steak Friday. Big day coming. All 3 MLBs. We're going to sweep the board. Don't miss out.
I should have taken that girl out for Steak Friday. What was I doing?
Fettuccine Friday. She, it's like, I'll have the lackey. She's like telling.
I'm working on another one.
She's like telling Brian a deep, important story, like, really saying, really focused in. He's like, hold that thought for a second. I'll be right with you. I gotta ask the waiter a question. How many lackeys come in that order? How many lackeys do I get in that order? Red Sox, Blue Jays. Oh, Rod, did you say what you're selling? Steak Friday?
Yep.
Steak Friday.
You just forgot yours.
Oh. Yeah, I got an MLB 3-pack. I got always the weeklies and monthlies and stuff is the best deal. That's for sure. So that's the way to do it. I got my football season packages out there. I don't expect anyone to buy them now. Every premium preseason pick that I give out for NFL football, I'll be giving out on the VIP show, so as well. So I don't think I'm going to sell them individually. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know, but they'll be in my premium picks. But I'll be giving out every NFL premium pick will be given out on the VIP show for the preseason. The regular season, no, and college football, no. The NFL preseason, yes, on the VIP. So if you want that, it's an inexpensive way to get some premium picks. I need to do a better job on explaining the VIP and the premium. I think I need to redo those descriptions and stuff on the site. The season coming up. Blue Jays, Red Sox, Pirates, Reds, Indians, Tigers, and Braves, Nationals. Rod, what do you think?
For me in those ones, I don't know how you don't take the Reds again the way they've been playing. So for me in that one, I'll take the Reds. 7-3 their last 10, playing good ball. I'll take the Reds on the run line. I think they beat up on Pittsburgh. And the other one, I like the Indians. The Indians struggled in Toronto in the last couple games, but back at home here. And Cal Quantrill has actually pitched pretty good. His last 4 outings have been solid. So I'm going to take the Indians here. As Detroit on the road has definitely not been so hot this year. 21-33 on the road. I'll take the Indians. Get a win over Detroit in that one. Matt Manning hasn't been so hot either. So give me the Indians there.
Brian.
The two I like.
Brian. Is he frozen?
Is he frozen?
It's used to him being stiff like that.
I think he's frozen.
I think he's frozen. All right, I'll go then. Awesome. Maybe he'll make it back.
Oh, there he goes.
There he goes.
Now he's gone.
All right. Larger than life. I like the Reds here as well. Miley over Brubaker. Miley's been fantastic this season. He's had a big year. Brian switched to his phone, and now he's gone again.
He's like freaking out. Well, he did say this morning he was having trouble with his computer. So
yeah, he did say that. I like the Indians as well with Quantrill against Manning. Manning has not been nearly as good on the road as he has been at home for the Indians, and the Indians have had a really tough schedule too. I mean, they didn't just have a road trip; they played against like the toughest of the tough, and they played them all tough, right? Then they played the Astros, the Blue Jays. I mean, they really ran the gauntlet there, and maybe that's why the Indians, play really well in August and September, is that they get all these really tough teams out of the way. And maybe the Yankees, when we look at them, it's like maybe they've struggled because they've played some of the tougher teams too. Because right now it seems like the Orioles, Marlins, right? It's like they're catching the easier games. Seattle has been tougher than this, but when you trade away your bullpen, I mean, Joey Gallo doesn't hit that home run if Graveman is pitching, He strikes out. I saw that. You frozen too now, Rod?
Well, I think I'm back. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Rod's frozen also. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
I don't know what the hell's going on. You can't see me?
No, I can only hear you. Rod is frozen.
I should be back. Am I back? Not frozen?
I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, my computer just went.
I only see.
Well, you're messing. Whatever you're doing is not doing good. It kicks me right out. It was like, out you go.
No, it's not. It's not anything we're doing. It's let's see. There's Brian, and here's me.
Yeah, I'm on my phone
and
now.
Rod is still frozen too. Now these guys are both out. Rod's back now. Brian, we see no picture whatsoever. Which you kind of look better this way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. Nothing's. I turned off my computer, so now I'm just on my phone.
Definitely looks better this way.
When you're on your phone on Skype, you actually have to turn your camera on. So if you look, there's a little camera button.
Yeah, it says it's on, but
click it off and click it back on.
I tried. I don't know if it worked or not. It shows me in the picture.
No, it just shows a Skype.
Something's going on. Maybe I'll go out and come back.
Let's see what I can do on my end. Let's see.
Yeah, we haven't had technical difficulties in a bit, but
no, we haven't. All right, let's see what we got.
Can you see me now, or just my picture of Skype?
Can't see anything, just the Skype symbol.
Yeah, just the Skype symbol.
Just the Skype symbol.
My computer did a reboot, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, well, maybe just audio. I know what I want to pick anyway, so. Nobody needs to see my face.
No, they don't.
Although I do have lady fans out there, so I don't want to disappoint.
I don't think so.
I have two. I know of two.
Mom likes are the best.
Yep.
Mom likes are the best likes. Trying to get a picture of Brian here.
Just put a razor up there.
No, I had a walking square a second ago. It's actually better. We're just absolutely unprepared for this. It's so weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't happened like
Oh my God!
in like a year.
Did you put that little square dude?
Yeah, I did. All right, well, we'll just leave Brian as is. Anyways, Brian, we were on the Red Sox, Blue Jays, the Reds, Pirates, the Indians, Tigers, and the Braves, Nationals. I was still going, but so I also like the Braves. Here. There you are. There you are. I gave out the I don't know. I gave out the Indians, and I also like the Braves here. Big favorite here against the Nationals, but the Nationals are just imploding. And the Braves still playing real hard, so their Braves are in it. You know, they're in it. And with the Mets playing the Phillies, they beat up on each other over the weekend. And the Braves can pull off some wins here against the Nationals. They're really going to be in the thick of it.
Yeah, for me in that grouping, I'm going to be giving out Blue Jays, Red Sox on the drive-through tonight, so make sure you check out Tony T and Chris Ruffalo. But as far as the other games go, I'm going to take a small shot with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know Rod was saying he was on the Reds, but the Reds, they have a habit of choking from time to time. And Brubaker's had a few rough starts in a row, but he has good stuff in general. I think the Pirates scrape out a victory, but it's just a very small lean. I don't really like this section.
All right. Got the Brewers and the Giants. Big game, big series. Possible postseason preview. Probably not going to affect the standings all that much, but still. Got the Astros and the Twins. Twins getting the win last night.
Go Twinnies.
The Cardinals and the Royals, and the Rockies and the Marlins. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to take a shot with the Minnesota Twins today, about the same amount as I'm taking the Pirates. Just a small lean with Ober on the mound for the Twins. He's had a good minor league career, hasn't really translated into the majors, but Greinke, I think his age is starting to show for the Astros, and this line's dipped a little bit from minus 200 to minus about 185 or so. I think Minnesota's the play here, plus money.
And for me, out of those that grouping, I like the over in the Twins and the Astros game. With Ober pitching, we're going to get Ober the number. Give me, I think we see a whole pile of runs in that one. It might be a little bit lopsided, too. I think the Astros settled back at home. The Twins caught them off guard. I'll take the Astros and the over in that one.
I don't know if they caught him off guard, but I think generally when teams return home from a long road trip, and the Astros were on an 8-game road trip. Generally there is a little bit of that's usually when they're susceptible. We've seen it with the San Francisco Giants every time they return home, right? They lose. We've picked up on that pattern already, and we saw it yesterday with the Astros. The Astros are the top hitting team this season, and I expect them to take out the heavy, heavy lumber on over here. They don't take losing lightly, and the Twins are they're terrible. They are just a bad team. We're getting some good value here on the alternate run lines here with the Astros, and it's a good chance to jump on it. I know you guys love a good alternate run line as much as myself. So -2.5 is +174 for point of reference. That's the same line I got yesterday in the Blue Jays Indians game, and I consider this a much easier bet than that. This is a much bigger mismatch than that, right? So 2.5 at +174. So I got 173 on the Jays yesterday at -2.5. And that was against the Indians, a team with basically around 500. This is the Minnesota Twins with Bailey Ober pitching against an Astros team that the bats were pretty quiet last night. They still almost came back and won. I mean, they played about as bad as we've seen them play all season. So the -2.5 is definitely in play. If you have to do it, I don't know if I would go the 4.5. What the hell? 4.5 at 405 or the 4 at 365. So it's $40 for a half a run, but it's a big half a run. From 4 to 4.5 is basically making it 4 to 5. It's a lot of runs. But at 3.5, the books, they don't want you anywhere near the 3.5 at just +262. The books do not want you there. Where the books are willing to give you the break is from the 3.5 to 4 is where they're saying, all right, now we're a little bit more comfortable. But at 3.5, they don't want you anywhere near that thing, +262. So at -2.5, you're only at +174. At 3.5, you're at 262. And then when you go to 4, you go from 3.5 to 4, you go from 262 to 365 on a half-run movement there. And now 365 to 405 at 4.5 because they figure we're not going to, if they get the 4, they're going to get the 4.5, right? So the exposure maybe there. So I think the play is the -3.5 looks like the easy money, and then the 1.5 looks like a layup here. Or 2.5, excuse me, looks like a layup, and the 4 I'll just play all 3 of those. That one's just too easy.
Yeah, but Greinke's doesn't really have a big advantage.
It doesn't matter.
The Astros don't have
so it'll be 14-6. The Astros are gonna put up double-digit runs here. They're gonna put up double digits.
Has a good arm. He just hasn't pitched great in the majors.
So he's facing the number 1 hitting team in all of baseball in every category. So that's going to help him. This is the time when we're going to see vintage Ober. Just the probability isn't there for me. I think the probability of an Astros beatdown is just much greater. When we look at team batting statistics, right? You see the Astros number 1 team batting average, number 2 in OPS, number 2 in slugging percentage, number 1 in on-base percentage, number 1 in team batting average. They're up there in stolen bases, not anywhere near the Padres, but they're kind of in the middle of the pack there. They've struck out probably the least amount of times of any team in all of baseball, and they've walked probably the 5th or 6th most. Let me see. They're going to slaughter them.
I think the safe bet's +1.5 Twins.
No, the safe bet is -1.5, or is -2.5 is the safe bet.
All right,
is the -2.5.
We'll see.
There's nothing here, that leads us to believe. So the Astros actually in walks. I misspoke. They're 8th in walks. Okay,
I think they get a W today, but
in slugging percentage, they're 2nd.
The Astros get a W?
A one-run win.
In OPS,
Oh, no.
In OPS, no. we'll look at the Twins here who faced Greinke, right? So their numbers actually aren't that horrible offensively, but when you go to the defensively and the fielding side of things, right, for the Minnesota Twinkies, okay, this is where things get ugly, okay, 27th in total defense. And now you look at the Houston Astros, not only are they number 1 in total offense, they're number 2 in defense. This is the team that should be favored to win the World Series. 1 in offense, 2 in defense. The number 1, and actually, they're tied for first. There's a 3-way tie for best fielding percentage. Giants, Astros, A's. I don't know, Brian. If you get this one on me, hats off. I'll do tomorrow with no hat on. Hats off, because I don't see it. I think see it. So here's the issue that you're facing with a guy like Bailey Ober. Okay, let me dig a little deeper as we unpeel the onion, as they say, right? So I know I'm having a lousy season, so it's like you can say, you've been crappy, right? I've been crappy. I know that, right? But here's the logic, okay? Here's some simple logic, and you guys tell me out there in the audience if this makes sense. If it doesn't, just smash that thumbs down. I don't care, right? Or just tell me in the audience, Mitch, you're wrong, okay? So last year, okay, there was a 60-game season. 60 games total. Most pitchers over the course of the 60-game season pitched 10 to 12 games. So even the veterans, even the guys that have been around the block, like a Zach Greinke, haven't pitched 20 games in 2 years. So you mean to tell me that Bailey Ober's got a better chance in 20th game of the season than the former Cy Young Award winner, number 1 in the rotation?
I'll tell you what Bailey Ober's numbers are. 18-3, 2.41 ERA, a whip of 0.96 in his entire minor league career. So this year in the majors,
never did he. And what's the most games he pitched in a season in the minor leagues?
Well, in the majors this year, he's only pitched 11 games. So,
and what's the most he pitched in the minors?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't know.
Fine. He's not playing a minor league team here. He's facing the number 1 offensive team in baseball.
All right.
And he has no wins on the road.
0. Well, it's not a premium pick for him. It's
It's awful on the road.
I just like to argue.
His only wins he's ever got have come at home in the majors. And he's on the road.
See what happens.
What's his road ERA for Bailey Ober?
0.
Almost 5. 0.56.
Oh, I missed the decimal point in the wrong spot.
0-1, 4.43 ERA in 20.3 innings pitched on the road.
I don't see it.
19 hits, 11 runs.
Yeah,
Bailey Ober.
I'm not there. I just can't get there. Greinke's had a week off.
He might need more than that. He's toast.
He got crushed last time out against the Giants at San Francisco. 4 innings.
He's starting to get in Felix Hernandez territory.
So the game before that against your Texas Rangers, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. It was a solo home run. He also beat the Indians, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. He lost to the Yankees, 1-0. 3 hits, 1 run. And then he beat the Indians, 5 hits, 3 runs. And then you look at Bailey Ober. This ain't pretty. Anyways, we could talk about every game like this every day. I think people say, you never talk about the games. Well, here we are talking about this game. Right?
Talking about this game.
We're beating it into the ground.
Just take the +1.5 and be happy.
Yeah. Too good to be true.
Too good. Hot diggity dog.
talked about that guy in a while. Oh, man. Not seeing it. Don't see it. I think the game is the Giants and the Brewers. I think that's going to be the game.
That'll be the game of the night for sure. Yeah.
That's going to be the game. It's going to be a quick one. Got the Cardinals and the Royals, another rival, right? Another rivalry game. The Royals have been streaky good and streaky bad. They're pounding the White Sox this year. If they played the White Sox every game, man, they would be in the World Series. Got Adam Wainwright. Adam Wainwright, the only Cardinals pitcher that's worth anything this season. Then you got Sandy Alcantara facing Herman Marquez. I like the Marlins, but I don't like the publicness of the pick. See, normally, like if I give a pick on YouTube and I get hammered by a bunch of squares, then I'm good, you know. But on this one, a lot of people agreed with my Marlins pick. All right, what do you guys? And then Texas, Oakland is the other one. Go some Fulton-Evich here. Brian, this line has moved from 215 to 300.
No, I'm going to stay away from that. I don't like really any of them that much, but I'm another lean for the Arizona Diamondbacks at almost 2-1 of my money. Ryan Weathers has been getting blown up just as much as Caleb Smith, and Diamondbacks have been fighting hard. They just seem to self-implode lately. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks, though. Just a lean.
But once again, you have a guy who's moved from the bullpen to the starting rotation, and now you're 20-something games, 20-something starts into the season, right? So you can see Weather's numbers, even though they were okay at the beginning of the season, they're getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Even the starters, even like the guys, the big guys, these guys haven't pitched this type of thing in 2 years. You know, it's a big deal. Rod?
For me in that one, I think you take the Diamondbacks money line first 5 innings because you know that bullpen late can definitely just blow up the game. And yeah, Weathers has been just awful his last start. Woo, did he ever get worked? So I like the Arizona Diamondbacks, but in the first 5, I don't think the money line first 5. We don't get burnt late in the game. And I'll take Oakland on the run line. Texas just can't score. Look at yesterday. Even they couldn't even get a run on Bundy. And we know how Bundy pitches, and the Rangers couldn't even get a run against.
So the
Bundy.
run line is minus 133.
Yeah.
Bundy was firing yesterday. Also.
Minus 133.
You can move that all the way to the minus 2.5 because I think Oakland just kicks the snot out of Texas today. This Rangers team just doesn't score. Their offense is just horrible, just awful. And last I looked, you got to score runs to win games. So we can move that to the Oakland minus the 2.5.
That's plus 115.
Yep, that's good enough. Better than a minus. And I have to go 3. I think you could probably push it even a little bit farther than that, but
there's just no value there at all on any of those things. You only get at 3.5, it's plus 166, and at 4.5, 251. I mean
then you're just too far. So I'm happy with the minus 2.5. I think they easily win by 3 runs.
Yeah, to me it's a little too much. I think they slaughter them too, but it's like I need more of a payout. I need something more than that. I'm laying runs. They gotta make it pay off for me.
Maybe reverse run line on the Twins. That'll pay off for you. No, I wouldn't do that.
I think you're a day late.
I'm just teasing.
Day late.
It's the Phillies first came back from a road trip. 7-game trip.
But the Mets are on a road trip from hell.
Yeah, I'm going to do that one on the VIP later today, I think. We'll let it marinate a little bit.
All right, what's your parlay? I gave out a 3-team parlay in the video today.
My parlay is an easy layup parlay. I got the Chicago Cubbies plus 1.5 and the Minnesota Twins plus 1.5. It's just a 2-gamer, but an easy one. Lay 100 on that and make some bang for your buck.
And for me, I've got a nice Friday favorite parlay. We're going to take the Reds on the run line. We're going to take the Astros minus the 2.5 and Oakland minus 2.5. You parlay those up, and that's over 10 times your money. Reds run line, Astros Oakland on the super run line. Parlay those 3 up.
Astros minus 2.5 for me. White Sox minus 4.5, and go with the under in the Giants Brewers game. That's my parlay. White Sox minus 4.5 is paying. It's almost too easy. Too good to be true. White Sox minus 4.5 is only plus 316. The books are shaking in their boots. Of course, Lance Lynn, a lot of Wrigley Field experience. He was on the Cardinals for years. Probably has more starts at Wrigley than Hendricks does. Won't be ugly. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Let's make it a winning day. I'm going to try and act more professional tomorrow. Appreciate all the nasty comments from the haters. It makes me realize what I'm doing is something right. Got some real nasty, trollish ones yesterday from some major losers, which would make it even better. It just makes me it's like, well, when you get comments from idiots like that, it's like it makes you and you look at like what they're doing. I always take a look like what kind of person would take the time to make this stupid ass comment, and I always look at I always track them down, right? I always you guys know, you've seen me do it on the show, right? So it's like I always track them down. I look at their Twitter, I look at their thing, and it's like this one guy's like a daily fantasy player, Kyle something, right? It's like saying that Mitch is hella crappy, something, right? So I look him up on Twitter, and it's like, oh my God, what a pathetic moron this guy is. He's wearing a Cubs shirt. It's like he takes the picture in the mirror, so everything's backwards in his picture. It's like, dumbass, dude. It's like really super pathetic. But so I look at the comments and I look you up. I know where you live, and I can see your house and all the success that you've had in your life. So yeah, like I said, it's the kind of thing that keeps me going. So I appreciate it. But thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Let's make it a winning day. Going to try and act more professional tomorrow.